Hey, what's up, Saberland? So, this has been a very long weekend. I've been working on the CFX update blade effects, updated blade effects, and I'm still learning a lot of the stuff that has been implicated as far as blade effects. Um, a lot of it was just kind of like trial and error and test because I don't use the rice port, which I should. I've been around long enough, I should know better. But I'm really old school, and I'd rather do things through the SD card because it's just pull out, pull in, and the whole process is faster to my understanding as far as changing and saving stuff and updating as opposed to USB. And I'm not a very gentle person, so I'm afraid I might break the USB. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. On customer request, I do, if they request the USB up or SD card up, I do that for them. But for me personally, I'd rather update through the USB. So enough of that. I have here my, I forgot the name of this, Bane Wraith custom hilt that I built, and the machine they're using Saber Forge scratch and dent parts, and as you can see, came out pretty amazing. This is probably one of my favorite hilts currently, as I go through so many, as you guys see when I do a new build and whatnot. The princess version that I did that's sitting over there, let me grab that real quick so I can show you that to you. So this is the counterpart to the Bane. So I haven't named this yet. This does give me a princess vibe, like a Leia vibe. I do like this hilt. It's a good, even though it has these two control boxes that a lot of people voice their concern over comfort and spinning, but I have no issues with it. It's not that big, and it's actually a nice hilt. But I'm going to be using this one to display the effects. Just wanted to show this off. So, getting into the blade effects. I wasn't really wowed with what's out there, especially compared to Profi. Now, we know Profi is always being updated. A lot of people in the open source community do amazing work as far as updates and modifications, and just everything that they do is badass. I unfortunately don't have the time to keep up with all that. I should make time for it because Profi is an awesome board. Not to take anything away from CFX, but CFX is lacking in the blade effect department. Other than that, I'm happy with it. I'm not really looking for a bunch of crazy blade effects, but the ones that you would think would be in there aren't in there, especially considering the blade profiles that are there. They're not like finished. They're, I understand it's always being developed, and Herb is always doing changes and whatnot, but we're going on almost a year since CFX came out. I think it came out in September or August. I don't remember. One of those months it came out. So we're not too far away from that, and I really haven't seen much improvement. Actually, to be honest with you, the blade versions I had originally on the launch, I liked a lot better than the blade effects that I currently have now. Especially the when you swing, it goes brighter, and then when you aren't moving it, it goes dimmer. That effect is gone. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to copy my original file for that blade profile for that version, and I'm going to try to put it in the new version and hope for the best. I've heard that people have tried to do that and it didn't work out for them, so that kind of sucks. But I'm going to try to get that blade effect back because that was one of my favorite ones. Being able to swing and it would go bright. Now, from reading the manual, it says it can do that, but I haven't seen it. Not on the same scale in which I had originally found. So I'm sure there's tons of tweaks to do, and I'm sure a lot of these tweaks can easily be done through the rice, and you can see it on the computer. But I'm old and don't want to do it that way, so I'm doing it the hard way. So these are not the best blade effects, And if people out there have better ones or have come up with something that I'm looking for, by all means share that with me, because I would love to update this properly. Okay, so I'm just gonna boot it up, and then I'm gonna cycle through the different colors and different blade effects that are available, and hopefully the camera will pick it up. I know it's hard for the camera to capture what you see with your eyes, because it usually washes out, but hopefully that won't be the case. So here we go. Okay, that's my battery level. I actually like that. That is an awesome feature that CFX added, is it shows you where your battery level is right now. So I'm currently about maybe 80% or 90%. And the lower it goes, obviously your battery's dying. So that's really cool. I appreciate that, because Profi had that and that was awesome. And I'm glad that CFX has that now. All right, so here we go. So this is a shimmer light pulse effect. You guys probably really can't see that, so I'm not gonna mess with the basic stuff. I'm just gonna get into the actual blade effects that I found, aside from flicker and pulse, because I do add that to pretty much all my blade effects, because I rarely want a blade to just be static and not have anything going on with it. I find that boring. So most of my blade effects, especially like movie related or character related, will have some kind of flicker and pulse. So let's close this. Go to the next one.
Crystal focus.
Okay, so this one is actually really cool. I like how this just kind of, you know, it's zooming up. It's just cycling kind of fast. But I found that in this blade profile, no matter what color I selected, it would just be this color. It would maybe have a very light hint of the different colors, but you really couldn't notice them. I'm over here spitting, sorry. You really couldn't notice them. So, but it's still a cool effect. It's kind of like an indigo color. It looks nice. I like it. And I don't know if the camera's really picking it up, but what it's doing is it's just kind of like a pulse just going up. That's all it's doing. It's just a pulse shooting up. So that's actually really cool. Aside from the fact that I really can't select a specific color on that. All right, let's go to the next one. Actually, I'm going to stay on this font and I'll just cycle from here. It'll be easier.
Spectrum. Blade profiles.
So this is the rainbow effect. I haven't dialed this in, and the reason I haven't dialed it in is because I actually like how it like just kind of zooms the colors to you. Kind of looks like a I don't know if you guys seen what's that movie, Thor Ragnarok, where him and Loki are trying to get back to Asgard, and their sister is Hela. You know, at the beginning she's chasing them through the warp thing, whatever. That's what that reminds me of. Okay, so it switched to a different color. Now let me see if I can get this to focus. Yep, it's not really doing it. Okay, so what's going on here is we're also kind of the same effect, just in a slower motion. I'm looking at a kind of an indigo reddish pink color. And that looks decent on camera, but in person, it needs a little improvement. Now this is the same effect, just going a little faster. Okay, let's go back. And that thing is pretty much the same thing, just going like really crazy fast, and the camera's not picking it up. And I wish you guys could really see what I'm seeing. Now this is one that I probably need to work on. What's going on here is the blade is going from one color to the next, going from like a pink to a blue. And obviously I can cycle through different colors and get different looks, I guess, of it. But it's starting like, let's say right here, it's going blue, and then it's going kind of a pink, then back to blue. So I guess that's okay, but it's really not that impressive. What do we have here? Okay, so this is kind of a mid gradient color where the middle is kind of blue and then the edges are kind of pink. And this is the same, just reversed, I think. Okay, so here's another kind of cycling of two different shades of color. And a lot of the blade effects kind of have that, so it's not, it's just different forms of it. So it's like, once again, it's kind of lacking. It's not that impressive. And then you have your rain sizzle, and then this is like your flame effect. Unfortunately, you guys can't see them as well as I'm looking at it with my eye. And this is a pulse. Let me get to the one that I actually really like. See if I can find that one. Okay, so this one right here, this is cool actually. I like this effect right here. The one thing that I wish they would do for this effect is when you ignite your blade, open from the middle. So it'll shoot out this way and this way, as opposed to doing this. See, that makes no sense. Why would it start here, gap, and then here? It doesn't look right. It would be better if it ignited from the middle and spread out. And the same thing when you would power off, it would retract to the middle. So, given that you guys really can't see the effects, I'm just gonna stop right there with showing you what is out there. What I would like to see with these kind of blade effects is, like, for instance, the flame effect. When you have your flame going on, when you turn it off, instead of retracting, let it retract up, because that's, when a flame just kind of flickers out. It doesn't do that. Those little details that could make the experience a lot better are lacking and have been lacking, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been asking for it. So I'm really not impressed with the current blade effects we have. And I would hope that they would work on those and give us those requests. If you guys have any suggestions, please share them. The more that gets out to Irv, the more he'll take into consideration and actually try to implicate. But if it's just one person saying, hey, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, and everybody else doesn't say anything, then it's not going to get done. But I personally myself and know of others who have kind of just dismissed CFX because their blade effects are lacking so much in that department. The whole retracting, the startup. Now there is one blade effect that is kind of cool. It does have kind of a strobing motion. And there's one just kind of just cycles really fast. And I think I showed a version of that, but there's so many versions of that same effect that it's kind of loses its awe, because it's like, oh, this again. Oh, this again. It's just slower. Oh, it's this again. It's just the colors are different or they're wider. It gets repetitive. So that's when I say it's really lacking. The potential's there, but it still needs to be worked on. I honestly wish I had some of my original blade effects as opposed to what's available now with CFX. So I hope you guys found this informative. I'm sorry I wasn't much help as far as being able to show you exactly what they look like, because it's hard to see this on camera. You can see it for yourself. If you guys want me to, I could share the blade profiles I have, and if you have better ones, by all means share those as well. The community would appreciate it. I was looking also at the different on and off options for the blade effects, and the ones that I'm requesting for the blade to start like from the middle and spread out, or from the blade to retract from down up instead of from up down, those little things would make the blade experience better. I read the manual, I was going over the stuff that I found, and I tried them, and I was just like, it's really not impressive, especially compared to what Profi's doing. And I understand that Profi is open source, and it's easier to get in and develop and do changes and add those effects. But it's been almost a year, and we're kind of, I feel with the blade effects, even though they've added more stuff, I feel that we've kind of stepped back instead of going forward. And I'm not trying to diss anybody or diss anybody's work. This is just my opinion. Like I said, I'm just starting to mess with this. So it could also be me. I could also be missing something and I'm not doing it right. But from what I've found, and I've tweaked a lot of stuff this whole weekend. I've been working on these blade effects, trying to find the right pulse, the right flicker. But that's easy. We've had that. That's nothing special. And I've got that dialed down, and I'm happy with that. I have no complaints there. My complaints are with the specific blade effects that are given to us. They just seem real repetitive. You can only use that blade effect so much, or change it so much, but it's pretty much the same thing, just faster, slower, brighter, dimmer. You know, they're minor little tweaks, but it's not really significant enough to be like, oh wow, that's really cool. So yeah, that definitely needs to hopefully change and be worked on for a better blade experience. I'm kind of repeating myself because I really want this to happen. I'm really happy with CFX. I've invested a lot of time in learning it and understanding it and how it works. So please, let's get these blade effects up to date. They are not good. At least, I'm sorry, but that's just what I'm seeing. There's some cool stuff, but it's repetitive, and that's where it doesn't become cool anymore. So anyways, I hope you guys found this informative. If you guys want to see the blade effects that I have for yourself, by all means, let me know, and I'll be happy to share those with you. And you guys can make your own judgments or make your own tweaks to those and see if we can come up with something better. But for the meantime, the power on, power off effects are really lacking, and it would definitely change the experience. For instance, one of my favorite from Profi is where it kind of like starts off, really fast, and then it just shoots up. Like, that looks awesome to me. It's really not Star Wars related, but it's just a really cool effect. And since we're having blade effects, maybe that might be one you guys want to work on and implicate. Just an example. I'm sure I can give you tons of them as far as what could improve the blade profile experiences for users. And I know it's a lot of work for both parties, the people that like Irv that do all this work to bring us these boards and these effects, and for installers to really put in the time to try to dial it down perfectly and get it right. And so like that, everybody can benefit, the community can benefit, we can share this knowledge, these effects and whatnot, and so on and so on. Anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. I know it's Sunday night, tomorrow's Monday. For some of us, we have to go back to work. So be safe out there, and may the force be with you.